Hey folks, KayakDIY here. Right now I'm hanging out at the YakAttack booth. I just got done filming at Bonafide. Got to see all the YakAttack products on the Bonafide kayaks. Killer. Now we're at the booth. We're going to do a walkthrough, give you an idea of what YakAttack has to offer. I'm here with John, one of the guys that works with YakAttack, and he's going to help me kind of explain what they have to offer, since I'm not quite the expert and they might have some new stuff out here. So what can you tell me here?
Cool. Well, we'll start over here on this side of the booth, and how we kind of even designed the booth was to walk people through the brand. You know, start at the base and the foundation of the gear track and the mounts that allow you to mount most of our products to your boat. And a lot of these kayaks are even coming with our track. We sell track to about 15 to 17 different brands in the industry that make kayaks, and so you can also do it from an aftermarket perspective. You know, put it on an old kayak or a new kayak that maybe it wasn't in the perfect spot you want it. So tracks and mounts are kind of the foundation, and then after that, it's all the accessories that I think make YakAttack. And we got a couple cool ones at the very end we'll finish with.
So where do we start?
So we start right behind you over here, and start with the tracks, mounts, and the bases. So with the foundation of the brand is going to be the track. So I mean, any of your brands from Jackson Kayak to Live Water Sports, Bonafide, and a whole lot more are going to use YakAttack track. Even if it's not YakAttack track, a lot of stuff works on it. Really, the only one in the industry is going to be, Feel Free or any of their sister brands that we make an adapter for that open up the whole line, the whole YakAttack product line, so you'll be able to use and get on the water. So with that, we got a couple different options. Mainly we have, a wide footprint option, and then I'll show you a narrow footprint option in a second. But really the reason why is because, same thing as shoes. If you're a shoe store, you can't really carry one brand of shoes and be successful, because, Americans kind of naturally have different feet than Europeans, and it's the same thing with kayaks. Modern day kayaks with flat gunnels and very different, that are designed for rigging, are very different than the shapely, kind of like in a Trident, one that's just a little bit more tough to rig. So they've updated those boats, and so for track's an option to really make a boat to where you can have one kayak for multiple different avenues and options of you can go bass fishing, and
it adds a ton of versatility. You will not find a single kayak that I own, or any paddlecraft or boat or anything that just plain floats on the water that doesn't have a track mounted to it. I put tracks on everything because I can mount everything to it, and I can rig the way I want based on the tracks.
And then with that, we've got a couple different styles, and even down to what we call our Mighty Mount, which is basically a 1-inch piece of track. So if you've got a spot on your boat that you want to put track and you want to mount an accessory, we've got track that's going to fit it. So we'll move on to their visibility products, and actually we'll talk about that one a little bit later, but we've got it, so we'll show it, see it in person, then we'll see it on a boat here in a second. But new mount from us, basically a flexible base PVC that can be mounted on, as it's designed, really in inflatable kayaks or inflatable paddleboards or rafts. But really, if you got an area that you don't want to drill into your boat, you can just put that mount there. So that's going to be new for us. That is going to be shipping immediately after the show, and retail is going to be $25, and that includes the base and then the track mount on top. So we're going to move over here to our visibility products, and this is going to be basically kind of the evolution of where we've come as a brand. So, with the one in the middle, which is going to be, this is a little bit closer to what we started at. 10 years ago, we're actually in an 11th year of business. Back when Luther first started, that was the first product, was the VisiPole. Basically a PVC light pole with an LED at the top for fishing the Chesapeake Bay for striper. We wanted to be visible, we wanted to be seen, we wanted to be legal out there in the water, and so we've got a couple different options. The first one on the left is going to be, I'm a wreck boater, I'm out there, having fun during the day, maybe a busy waterway. I'm probably not going to be fishing at night or in foggy, low-light situations. So that's a great one if I'm on a busy waterway, Tennessee River, Lake Lanier, or any of the big, Great Lakes and stuff like that, where big boat traffic, but you still want to paddle. Great option for, retail is going to be $35. So, it's inexpensive. Everything we do is made in the States, and it comes with a lifetime warranty. So for $35 to be seen on the water is a tremendous, simple product that I could put on any boat. So here, I'm actually going to grab the VisiCarb, and if you want to grab the mic, do a quick demo. It's always a fun product to show people really where it came from. So the original one was basically a fixed length PVC, and what we've come to is basically, so the light itself, it runs off 3 AA's, and that's included, so it comes with the product, and those 3 AA's get you 100 hours of runtime.
Wow.
So it's one that I change my batteries maybe 2 or 3 times a year just to help prevent corrosion, and I try to do a lot of night fishing in the summertime just to get those those bass in a little different environment than just the hot summer days. So just like an old mag light, left on, left off and the right turns on. 2 LEDs in there, you're seeing for a good distance. So loosen that, turns right off. The flag comes off very, very quick and easy. I'm gonna put that over here for now. And then it's a very similar construction to tent poles. So the whole thing is gonna collapse. So carbon tubes, rigidity, lightweight, and then also the lanyard at the bottom is to help you lash it up and hold it together. So the whole thing nice and compact. And then the last thing is gonna be actually the flag does double as the carrying case.
Wow.
So the whole thing goes in there, and I keep it in my crate, and I'm ready to rock. I've got a couple different colors of our black packs we've made over the years, and I use one for fresh, one for salt, one for the river, and I've got one in every one of them. So I know that I'm ready to go in the water, and I'm ready to be seen. So
my wife pretty much is gonna kill me if I keep getting more and more kayak stuff because it just takes up so much space in the house. So I already made up my mind. That's the one I'm getting because it takes up a much smaller profile, and I'm gonna have that rigged up with a dive flag for when I start rolling out some of these diving videos from kayaks.
And we've got some options. To me, I like a good, better, best strategy. So this is the best. It's the one with the LED. You have a flag if you want it. Don't use it at night. It's not needed at night. So use the light. Collapses. It's nice and compact. It's about, I'd say, a little smaller than a Subway sandwich. So easy enough to transport. Then we have a fixed length version that's a little bit less expensive, and then the one at $30 that nice and easy and invisible during the day. And when you want to rock it and put it back together, just drop it down. The whole thing goes together. So
that's so cool.
Pop the flag back on, and the whole thing floats. If you drop it in the water, it's going to save your investment. So this is going to retail for $90, and that's going to be the Visi Carbon Pro.
Once again, competitively priced.
So this is kind of moving over to a little bit more of a kind of miscellaneous accessories. Moving over to a tool holder, whether I put boga grips on here, fish grips, pliers, or any type of tools that I'm using. Simple track mounted design, 36-inch Kevlar cord to where I know it's going to last, and also one it's going to hold up to the saltwater and harsh marine environments. So I always put my tools on there. I haven't lost anything in a long time, and I always have these on my boat. I got 2 or 3 at any given time. So simple, easy track mounted product. And then a cool one that a lot of people have been using, we've had it out for, I think this is going into its 4th season, is going to be the RotoGrip paddle holder. And then here at the end, we'll jump over and we'll show one more configuration. They were kind of combining a couple parts together to actually get the RotoGrip off the deck to where you can actually have some articulation to it, but add some depth to it. And so when we designed it, we wanted it as low profile as possible to be as little intrusive as it can be, but some boats with higher bow hatches and the gear track being a little bit lower created some issues. So we have a solution for that. We'll show you here in a second. So then simple cup holders, to me currently I'm using a Bonafide as my boat, a 127, and I currently run 4 cup holders. So one has a drink, and then the other are basically just deep access quick storage. Yep. So I might have my top 5 favorite baits in there that are not tied on, and then the rest turn into a kind of a junk bin of spent plastics and extra line and stuff. So it's just a good catch-all for me.
It's like a mini junk drawer kind of. You just kind of throw the stuff in there until you want to use it again.
Yep. So simple. To me, the products, the RotoGrip paddle holder coming at $15, and then also the multi-mount cup holder coming in at $20. Basically, when designing it, I wanted to design it around the Nalgene bottle. It's been a classic Aldro water bottle for years and years and years, so it fits that perfectly. It fits, cans with koozies, and then all the way up to some of the bigger, larger Yeti vessels that fit perfectly in there. So a lot of different options, but to me, I also use it more than a cup holder. So it's, to me, a lot of these kayaks lack a deep access quick storage to where I don't want a bunch of crankbaits laying on the deck of my boat or a bunch of treble hooks to where if I get into a sticky situation, I got to get out of my seat, or maybe I'm perched on a tree. I fish, Briar Creek Lake that's been on Chad's show for a long time, and it's nothing but flooded timber, and you'll get skewered by a tree and be stuck there for a while. And I want to make sure my deck is as clean as possible. So, cool cup holder, and then also we got some simple tie downs and tie down eyelets, and if you want to tie down more gear or guide anchor line around the cockpit, we got a lot of solutions for that. So, a lot of cool simple stuff, and then moving into Fishfinder mounts. For us, I guess about 3 years ago, we used to have, over 20 different mounts back when we worked with a different company, and now basically I'm down to 4. before that covers about 95% of the market. I'm working on one more, just a basic universal, that if we don't have one that matches up perfectly and it does almost everything, we're gonna have a simple plate that drill your own and it'll work just with just about anything. So all that's based off that lock and load system. So easy on, easy off, very secure. It comes with the extensions on there, but the extensions, a lot of people are like, well, I don't want it vertically straight up. Well, to me, I don't use it that way. So if you want it up, if you want it visible, maybe you're standing and you want it flat, but also maybe you just want it closer to you. So those extensions, don't always have to be in a vertical configuration, or remove it completely and go straight to the base. So a lot of cool options, but we got anything from, the classic Lowrance interface, which is I think currently now only on the TI series, to the new Lowrance interface, which is a real nice, easy adjust, which actually is a little bit better than even the stock one, because you got to move a lever in the back. So pressure driven and pick the angle that you want. The whole Helix line, Garmin Ray Marine, and then so pretty much the market's covered. So we got it.
And I actually had one of these here with a previous kayak of mine. So this is a track mounted all-in-one unit. The battery fits in the box. I believe you call it the cell block.
Yeah, so we've got basically the cell block, and then when designing the switchblade transducer arm as well as the Fishfinder mounts, I wanted everything to integrate together. So basically, this is my personal unit that I've used for at least the Fishfinder, about 3 years. Everything else is fresh. But for me, it's one the same thing. If we're grabbing, some chicken wings and a beer, after a long day on the water, we don't have to worry about it. Take it off, throw it in the cab, throw it in the back of my car, and it eliminates. But also for me, I fish out of probably, I would say 10 to 15 different kayaks every year. I don't fish out of one kayak exclusively. So for me, if it's got track, I got my setup. I don't have to worry about any hard mounting of transducers or any wires in the way. Basically, I have my system. The whole thing, folds up nice and easy. It's all adjustable, and I can get on the water very, very quickly. Within that too, we partnered with Aqua Adventure Gear, and so we've also got our 10 amp hour lithium battery too. Same thing as Aqua. They were great to partner with us and create a really cool package and be able to cater to our customers. So simple, easy. It comes with everything you need to attach it to your system, and also even comes with the charger. So real simple, easy system that paired with that is a good all-day experience in the water. I've been around YakAttack. I'm pushing about 4.5 years. When we first started, we carried 18, 19 different rod holders, and it was confusing for consumers, it was confusing for our dealers, it was confusing for us, and why you should use which one where. So basically, we ended up with 4 final products. So we've got, we started with the Omega, and the Omega's great because the Omega works for everything. It works for fly gear, it works for spinning gear, it works for casting gear, and then we also sell it in two different configurations. We've got our Omega and the Omega Pro, and they come in at $30 and $40, track mounted out of the box, ready to go. So really with that, an American-made lifetime warranty rod holder for $30, track mounted, is solid. So really cool product. And for me, I fish any way I can. I'm a fly fisherman. I use regular gear. Small, mountain streams, I might use a Tenkara rod. So I use anything and everything to fish. So Omega is a tremendous option for that, just because of the versatility. And it's all featured on our lock and load base. So, squeeze to adjust, and then open the trigger to remove. So, pretty cool system. And then I guess maybe the last time you saw us in the booth last year here at ICAST, we had the AR tube. And the AR tube at that time was going to be a little bit more of a prototype. For us, we're a very unique company that, we do all our own design work. We make all our own molds in-house, and we do our own injection molding. So for us, product development is very, very rapid, and it just comes second nature to us. So, for me, coming to a show with a 3D printed part, that's cool with me, because I'm gonna have a fresh production part ready to go pretty quickly after. So with the AR tube, basically I wanted that simple tube that I typically mount behind me. My current setup, I've got 2 on each side, and those are my quick grab and go, easy to access, rod holders that the geometry, we ramped the open face to where, everything's gonna fall in there nice and easy. Bait casters, the trigger's gonna lay in place, but also we angled the top so the reel is gonna always lock in place when it's at a little bit more of a vertical angle, and then your spinning gear is gonna dangle, and once the gimbal's open on the back, it's gonna lock in place and it's gonna be really clean. So it's got a lever on the back that, if you've got any of your saltwater gear that features your cross gimbal on that butt, it's going to lock in place to keep your gear in an upright position. So that's going to be the AR tube. And then we've also, we've got basically we're building a new product line. So we've got all these parts you can tinker with and really, really make it your own. So we've got an 8-inch extension arm that you can really get the rods where you want it. It works with any of our products, whether you want to get a Fishfinder Mount closer to you, get a rod holder closer to you. We've got a lot of opportunity now, so pretty cool system. And then moving over to the last rod holder is going to be the Zuka 2. So it's based off the classic Zuka tube that we sold for a number of years. We simplified the geometry. We also opened it up a little bit bigger to fit some of your larger conventional gear. And it's been a great seller. The unique one about this mount is it uses the geometry from your reels and rods to lock everything in place. So it's going to use, the neck of your spinning reel or the trigger on your conventional gear to lock it in place to make sure it's not going, whether you're trolling or just keeping that gear, secure while you're paddling and transitioning from one spot to the next. So pretty cool system. So breakdown in price is basically, $30 for the Omega and then $40 for the rest. So I priced it and made it very, very simple.
Okay, going on, we got anchor trolley systems here. So anchor trolley. A lot of people, they buy a kayak, they just buy an anchor and they throw the anchor overboard and expect to have a good experience. If you're in swift water or areas with faster moving water, anchor trolley is going to be for sure key. You're going to want one on your kayak because if you get caught sideways with current, that's no go. You're going to end up turtling the kayak. You're going to be in the water with all your expensive gear.
Yeah, so the big thing, if you think about, if you're dropping an anchor off the back of your boat, if you're in moving current or, have wind, that the bow of that boat is always going to go downstream or downwind just because of your anchor point. So that gives you the ability with an anchor trolley to truly adjust your pivot angle. So basically you're going to run a stakeout pull through the pivot ring or as well as an anchor and some lines. So you can move it all the way to the bow, move it all the way to the stern and anywhere in between if you wanted to. The unique thing about our anchor trolley is it really was the first anchor trolley where every component was truly designed for the purpose. Basically a pad eye, Luther knows more of the examples we've talked about in the past. That was purely made out of necessity and what was available. It wasn't really meant for this space and rigging and, for us, we developed, anything down from the pulley of being, a Teflon infused roller to where it's just going to get cycle after cycle and it's going to be so smooth. It's protected in every direction, whether you're fishing saltwater or on the river. It's a piece of plastic. It's a kayak. It's going to bang off things. So I want that to be as protected as possible. So
and low snag.
Yep. Really not a lot of depth to the product. So I think that the lever lock in the middle is only 0.4 inches tall off of the side of the boat. So there's not going to be a lot to create a line catch and get in the way and be too intrusive to the paddling situation. And then the pad hooks on the side help keep your line on the side, because if you got a tight anchor trolley and you're mounted all the way on the bow and all the way on the stern, that line's going to work its way over into the cockpit and just get in the way. So a lot of cool things we did with this one. It was one that I think we released it was fall 2015. So we're pushing several seasons, and it's one that I see more and more of these mounted on every kayak out there at the tournaments I go to, and just a normal day at our local lake. So it's been a great product for us, and we got a couple different options, and actually a new one that we released, I think it was last year, was going to be our GT cleat, so a track-mounted cleat that works perfectly in conjunction with the anchor trolley. Because if you're using an actual line and anchor, you're going to need somewhere to cleat off that line. So simple, easy track-mounted cleat for $15 is a tremendous option. So same thing as the lock and load, it's keyed on the bottom, so it's never going to rotate once it's tightened in the track. So it's not going to spin in the track when you're actually anchored. So, and then another option for us is going to be what we call the Sidewinder, and it can be track mounted in basically, low current situations, low boat traffic situations. So for me, a little bit more of a pond, small lake environment. It can also be used with an anchor trolley. It's a unique concept, but this eliminates a giant ball of line that if you have to get any problems and decleat and get that line through pretty quickly, rather than having 100 feet trying to make its way through, a 1.5 inch diameter hole, all the line is outside of the boat, so you only got 10 or 12 feet to work with. So easy, simple system. All you gotta do is just cleat it off. So that's a unique system. We like options. If I'm in heavy current, heavy wind, I'm gonna use an anchor trolley. You know, if I'm in a little bit more of a pond simple environment, I'm going to use this. And then also if I want to use it together, there's the possibility of that as well. So then moving over to another one was kind of one that, you know, there wasn't a whole lot of options out there in the market when we first created it. Was going to be our parking poles. So a stakeout push pole. You know, what we're using is a specially made fiberglass that, you know, really crazy strong, but also very light. So I mean,
this is very light. In fact, I was expecting a lot heavier. I've seen the crush tests and stuff on this where you guys were testing it. Yeah, it's insane. And
we picked the right product for the right reason. I mean, a pultrusion didn't make sense in this market, so we really used the right type of fiberglass, the right construction method, and it's been a really tried and tested product for us that has done very well. So, and compared to your solid poles, I mean, you drop that in the water, it's going to float like a snake. So, you know, even with, you know, our multi-piece version that's sold as 2 pieces, here I've got it as 3 pieces. I mean, I can keep adding pieces and it's going to float. So I had it at 16 feet and the whole thing floats perfectly. So, I mean, we sell it in a 6-foot and then also a 7'8" to make easier on shipping for you guys and also our dealers. And then also a 2-piece version called the Parking Pole Link that sells at 8 feet. And then we have a middle extension to take it to 12 feet. So pretty cool product for us, and it's been kind of a tried and true YakAttack staple. So that's going to be the parking pole. And then last little thing is kind of moving over to some kind of miscellaneous paddle gear. You know, last year we did a throttle mount for torpedoes. It's something, you know, they got a really nice system, but they just didn't have a developed, or maybe they just wanted us, you know, work with us to develop a simple throttle mount for them. So simple throttle mount for a torpedo. I put one on my boat, you know, a couple months ago, and it's the first kayak that I've motorized in 15 years, and it's changing the way that I fish a little bit, or just, you know, I can rig up, you know, motor into my spot, and it's fun, you know, but also I enjoy paddling on the river. But if I'm fishing big water, I do like that option. So simple, easy motor mount featuring that lock and load for the torpedo. And then we've got the Bullwinkle. So the original Bullwinkle was designed around the Commander, the Wilderness Systems Commander, to have a nice, simple way to rig some rods and have them staged, ready to go. So, you know, stage 4 rods and also a slide a hog trough in the middle. So pretty cool, easy product. And then, you know, one we launched last year was going to be some cam straps. So, I mean, everyone makes cam straps, but, you know, for us, and I did a strength test. This is another video that we did showing basically polypropylene versus polyester. Polyester is like 50-pound braid. I can't break that with my hands. Yep. The polyester, one strand of it, simple and easy to break. So it's better abrasion resistance, better for mildew resistance, and the strength is highly enhanced. So using the right product for the job.
And it's better for your kayak, because I can't tell you how many times I have seen people that use ratchet straps and they're ratcheting down on their kayak, not knowing how much force they're putting on that hull, and then they end up with deformed hulls, especially in the heat. So I only use cam straps, only use them, and this is really nice quality, because if you have to go over your paint job or anything on your car, you have this nice big thick rubber overmold. So really nice, and I've had 0 issues with cam straps.
It's the way to do it, and it's what I use. And same thing with roof racks, you're applying pressure to a very small surface area. So, and it's going to be the Discovere Plugs we launched last year. So, you know, it's one of our brand. I mean, it's been, you know, highly technical fishing mounts and products, and, you know, our dealers really wanted to be a one-stop shop. So, you know, scupper plugs, and the nice thing about the scupper plug is we put a column in the middle of it, so you don't have to push your thumb all the way in the bottom of it. Basically, it works as the button to install. So basically, pull it out and then pull it right out when you're ready to go. So never have to put it in the bottom of that scupper. So pretty simple scupper plugs. And then same thing, you know, pad eyes. We did some pad eyes last year, just trying to be that one-stop shop for our dealers. And then kind of the last thing, you know, and we'll look at one more thing after this, but kind of new for us is going to be the camera mounts. So we sold, I mean, basically we created the market for camera mounts on kayaks. And then we basically had a brand separation of someone we worked with, and kind of came back and reimagined some of those products in a very cool, unique, you know, configuration. So, you know, first one that we're messing with is going to be what we call the Boomstick Pro. So that's based off our lock and load system, and it features the ball mounts up top. And as it ships, it works with your GoPros with the GoPro interface, but also with the 1/4 stud for, you know, a whole other bunch of brands of cameras, your point and shoot cameras, you know, Nikon and Canon, and a whole bunch of options. So that one's going to be our tallest, you know, typically mounted behind me, get that really cool perspective shot. And the nice thing, even with that camera mount, even with the GoPro without a flotation device, the whole thing floats on the water like a snake. It just sits there, it's perfect, and you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to worry about dropping your nice camera or the camera mount in the water and it's sinking right to the bottom. So, really easy, one-handed on and off, and then it's based off that lock and load system, so squeeze to adjust and pick your camera angle. And then so the middle one's gonna be what we call the Panfish Pro, so a little bit shorter. The cool thing about this one, if I am, typically mounted behind me, if I wanna change the angle, I can do it, maybe I'm wanting to pitch over there and flip over there. I can take this and change the angle independently without touching the bottom, so pretty cool with that one. And then the Panfish Portrait Pro on the end, nice, simple, smaller camera mount. You can articulate it down, get as low on the deck or as straight up as possible. And all of them are going to float, so protect your gear and give you that peace of mind so you don't have to worry about losing it. And then the last thing is we'll walk over and we can see the inflatable mounts on the actual kayak itself, and we can see what that looks like. So there's going to be our inflatable mount. So this is going to be called the switch pad. So for us, $25 retail. It doesn't come with the adhesive. We're going to have some good instructional videos and good instructions on our recommendations for the adhesive, but for me, I installed 5 in the matter of about an hour, so pretty quick and easy installs. But what that gives is, instead of using old school deck mounts and old school interfaces, it gives you the ability to use all of the new track mounted accessories in this type of environment. Inflatables, the fun yaks, the duckies, any of your rafts if you want, cup holder, rod holder, flag, and it just gives you endless possibilities of track mounted accessories. So that's new one for us, and that one is shipping basically next week. So if that's your market, keep your eyes peeled.
Awesome. Well, I really appreciate him running through the booth with me. It's been a busy day at ICAST, and stay tuned here because we got a whole lot more, folks.
Check out KayakDIY and make sure to subscribe. Woo!